Shut up and sit down.
All right, welcome back to On The Sidelines. I'm your host, Bryan Ross. I'm here again with Jared Cornwell. What's up, man?
Hey, happy to be here again. Thanks for having me on, Brian. Always love talking sports and having a few drinks with you.
Always, man. I think we've come to the conclusion that we're going to have these monthly segments, booth review sessions, that we can kind of discuss looser topics. And,
it's because I'm your favorite guest,
right?
Brian.
It's because we have great conversations. I wouldn't go that far, but no, I'm just kidding. So let's just.
You don't like to have a guest smarter than you.
Hey, sometimes, it's a little, Nah,
like, hey. I'm giving you a hard time.
I know, man.
But yeah, happy to be back. Love being here on the sidelines. So, like I said, thanks for having me on, and happy to be doing these booth review sessions. It should be fun.
Yeah, man. It always is. So to hop right into it, we were talking about before the episode got started. If you needed a last-second shot, and we're talking, within 24 seconds left on the shot clock, down by, tied, down by 1, 2, 3, whatever, a player that you're going to put the ball in their hands to hit that last-second shot, who are you thinking?
Well, I mean, obviously there's a lot of...
to win a championship, like we're talking.
To win a championship.
To win a championship.
I'll say game-winning shot, regular season, if you actually look at...
I guess it should be the same.
Well, it's not, though, because you got to have some of these guys who are really good at making game-winning shots don't play much in the postseason.
I mean, that's true, but don't...
An example of that is Carmelo Anthony.
That's true.
He has one of the greatest last second shot percentages of all time, like clutch percentage, whatever, depending on what website you look at, because it's kind of hard to judge clutchness. But there's a couple different things they factor in when they're gauging those things. And percentage wise, Carmelo's up there, but postseason wise, he's barely played a postseason game.
Yeah.
I don't even think he's played a postseason game since he was in Denver. Did he play any in New York?
I doubt it.
I've heard take that back. OKC last year, but he was more of a role player.
Not even really a role player.
Than a feature guy with them.
It was crazy to see him drop off as much as he did.
Yeah, and then, this year finishing the season not even in the league.
Yeah, which is crazy. But honestly, like, as much as I love his offensive game, he did not play defense at all. There was no defense played.
No, and, he has to be like the guy where he is. I don't feel like he plays well feeding off another superstar. Like case in point with, Paul George and Russell Westbrook, where he wasn't the focal point of that offense and the guy that had the ball in his hands all the time and was taking all the shots, it was like he struggled to find his rhythm or that kind of thing.
I think anybody that plays with Russell Westbrook, though, is struggles to find their rhythm because he just takes so many shots and he commands the ball. Paul George struggles too a little bit.
Well, I feel like he did last year, but I feel like this year...
That's why Durant left.
Well, yeah, that's true, 100% there.
Yeah.
They with the Thunder, they kind of ended up basically picking Russell Westbrook over James Harden, and which I'm sure that they could go back and do that over. I think they would make a different decision, even though Russell Westbrook has turned out to be an MVP, and he's definitely. An exciting. He puts fans in the stands. He can lead you to the postseason. He's probably going to be a Hall of Famer. I mean, with the numbers he's already put up, especially per game numbers. With all the triple doubles and that kind of thing. But Paul George last year, I don't feel like fit or played well with Westbrook. I feel like this year it did flow.
Oh, he definitely built some chemistry.
Yeah, it flowed in a much better way. And Paul George, I feel like was really the better player, but. Then, they didn't do anything once they got to the postseason.
Yeah.
First round exit.
Yeah, and the Trailblazers were just on.
Yeah.
Just were.
Speaking of which, we're talking about clutch shooters, clutch performances.
Yeah, Damian Lillard's got to be in that.
Yeah, oh my gosh, especially that. That what a shot.
Yeah.
Deep shot at that.
Yeah, and just, and I know it was the first round of the playoffs that he did that in, but it was just such a clutch shot with a great defender. Paul George led the league in steals with a great defender in his face.
Yep. That's
draining
true.
it.
That's true. Like huge shot, huge moment against one of the best defensive players in the league for this season. So
something I do want to ask you is if we have so say you switch Westbrook and Harden right now, you switch them up right now, and they're on each other's teams. Who do you think has more success?
Thunder.
Do you really?
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, can you imagine Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook on the same team?
I think you'd have to move Westbrook to shooting guard. I mean, that does throw a wrench in.
And I don't think he knows how to play shooting guard, honestly.
I think he just is a shooting guard that plays point guard.
But see, like I feel like he likes. I mean, yeah, you're right, but he
gets a lot of assists. He led the league in assists.
That's true, but I know what you're saying because he's not the true like distributor. Facilitate the offense, point guard. But like I feel like he has to have the ball in his hands like the whole time to be successful.
Yeah. But so does Harden. Harden's got to have the ball. They're one-on-one players like Carmelo.
True, but Harden doesn't play off the fast break and stuff the way Westbrook does, and you have to have the ball to really be successful. Yeah, charging to the basket on a fast break.
So you think Harden with the Thunder right now do better than Westbrook with the Rockets?
Oh well, 100%.
I'd like to see that. No,
100% individually. I think because I think Harden's the better player. But I actually thought we were talking about which team would be better if you switched them up.
Right, either one.
And I think I would take Thunder with Harden and the roster that they have now over Rockets with Westbrook and the roster they have now.
I think the Rockets have a better roster all around. They
do, but I think Harden's that much better a player than Westbrook, I guess.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't think the gap is that wide between the two.
Yeah, but it's just different. Like because
they're different. They're different styles.
I think Harden can do anything. Like he's more of a pure scorer than Westbrook. I feel like.
I would definitely agree with you there. But I think Westbrook is a better defender.
Yes,
rebounder.
Yes, that's true. That's
game.
True. That's true. But I feel like you can get that more out of your other players on the court, but you can't get that scoring. That I mean, and when it's not like Westbrook is a chump. I mean, he has huge games, but he's just not. He's more one dimensional offensively, I guess, than Harden, and and it really doesn't hurt him until it comes to the postseason. But that's when it matters the most.
Right.
But anyway, what I was trying to get at is talking about
who's taking the last
performers.
Yeah, who's taking the last second shot for you?
Yeah, exactly. And I mentioned Carmelo, but obviously I'm gonna go Kobe. I'm taking Kobe even over Jordan.
That's a good pick.
I remember I was watching a highlight one time of Kobe shooting game-winning shots, and I was like, man, bang, 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 one after another, and I was like, damn, Kobe's had a lot of game-winning shots in his career, and they're like this season, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like that was all in one season,
I've never.
I mean, he had ice in his veins when it came to clutch situations.
I've never seen a player other than Jordan that wanted the ball in their hands so bad. Maybe Dwayne Wade or something like that. But I've never seen.
Wade,
that would probably be my pick. Is Dwayne Wade
really? Without
saying Jordan, just automatically. But
and see, I don't even feel like I'm having to sacrifice to not say Jordan.
Right.
Because I'm
not either.
Kobe,
I'm not either. But
obviously, going back to our very first episode on here on the sidelines, obviously Jordan is the GOAT.
Yeah,
acknowledge that.
Hands down.
Yeah, but when it comes to that last second shot, I want Kobe.
Yeah,
I want Kobe.
Yeah, I think Kobe's a great pick. And honestly, as much as I don't know why it pains me to say this, I like LeBron. I think LeBron has to be on that list too. Just because he's
on the list.
He's hit numerous.
Yeah, he's on the list,
shots.
Definitely.
He just doesn't want it as bad. I don't think he calls for it.
Exactly.
I don't think they're standing in the
something
huddle.
Different. Yeah. And he's still he's more in the GOAT conversation. I feel like than he is in the most clutch shot taker conversation
for sure,
or however you want to word that. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's more in the GOAT conversation than he is in that kind of conversation. And that's because of what you just said. He doesn't call for the ball in those situations. He doesn't demand the ball like Kobe and Michael did. Like, he's okay with deferring and letting someone else take that shot and that pressure, honestly. Or at least that's the way I feel about it. That's
I think he deferred to Kyrie a lot in Cleveland.
Yeah, and even
Rightfully
think about Miami, Ray Allen.
Yeah, Ray Allen and Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, and Dwayne Wade, exactly.
Referred to,
especially in the postseason.
Yeah, exactly. Ray Allen got them through some of those postseasons, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you're taking Kobe, I'm taking Dwayne Wade, and we both acknowledge that Jordan's the greatest player, the greatest basketball player.
Yeah. Well, that's a for us. That's a standard.
Yeah. I will say that when I had Aaron on I think it was episode 2, that he didn't get to bring it up, but he told me after the episode that he was like, I wanted to bring up, like, he's like, he thinks LeBron is the GOAT over Jordan.
Well, I'm glad I do this with you and not him.
We need to just have him on here and just have all three of us hash that.
Yeah,
out.
we could do a panel discussion.
Yeah,
one time on one of our booth review sessions or something.
We'll have to set that up.
Yeah.
So leading into the NFL, kind of the same clutch gene factor. Who's one quarterback in history? If you needed games on the line, you need a touchdown, you need to get on the other end of the field. Who you got?
Well, this one's a little different for me because of the, like with the first one, even though I think Michael Jordan's the GOAT, I'm not taking him number one overall in clutchness. Even though he was clutch, like there's no question there, I'm not taking him number one overall. For me, same
thing with Brady is what you're saying.
Yeah,
right?
same.
You're not taking Brady for one last.
No, opposite is what I'm saying.
Oh, you're saying you're taking Brady.
Yeah, I think he's the standard. For both GOAT and for clutch factor, but I'm gonna get off Brady because like I think that's such a gimme. It's almost like talking about the Warriors, that kind of thing. So Brady won, but let's go 2 because that's the one that's the real
so
the debate.
We'll go 1A.
Yeah, or 1A. Yeah, Brady's 1A, but let's go. Yeah, who else? And when I think of clutch performances, if I want to go single game or like the best game-winning drive I've ever seen or game-winning throw, I think of the Miracle in Minneapolis in 2018, Case Keenum to Stephon Diggs, that last second touchdown. It wasn't even a Hail Mary.
It wasn't a Hail Mary. It was terrible tackling.
Coverage and tackling. Yes.
By the Saints.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like it.
The worst.
Like if you ever thought the NFL was rigged, that's the game that made it look like it because it was just so blatantly like pee-wee football.
Didn't touch him.
Yeah, I mean,
he put his head down and just flew through the air.
Yeah, but from a comeback standpoint, like I loved watching that game and I loved seeing that play.
But you're not taking Case Keenum.
No, and my favorite, but that's not even my favorite comeback all time. My favorite comeback all time, and here's my Redskins bias. I think it was 2015 Monday Night Football. Mark Brunell.
Yeah, I was going to say. I thought you were about to say Mark Brunell.
Yeah, that's Mark awesome. Brunell. The Redskins were down 13-0, 3 minutes and 55 seconds. 2 possession game down. 2 possession game, 3 minutes and 55 seconds. Washington's got the ball, hits back. They hadn't scored it. This was week 3. Hadn't scored a touchdown yet on the season, and hits back-to-back bombs to Santana Moss. To win 14-13, a 60-yarder and like a 70-yarder touchdown, and the game was over. Like Jerry Jones went down to the field from the booth, from the box, to go down there to celebrate. Over. They thought it was over, and boom, game.
Yeah. Well, that's almost not to jump back to the NBA, but that's almost like the Reggie Miller thing. Like Reggie Miller had that game where he scored 9 points in 20 seconds.
Yeah, didn't Tracy McGrady have a game like that too?
He also had like a game where he scored he scored like 12 points in a matter of 30 seconds. Yeah, it was for the Rockets.
Yeah,
and obviously Reggie was playing for the Pacers, but they both had those games where they just like made comebacks and last second shots in a crazy amount of time. But I have a feeling you're not saying Mark Brunell.
No. Back to just the real deal. I'm going Favre.
Yeah,
I really want Favre in there.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I mean,
although late in his career he made some questionable decisions.
But you think about that year with Minnesota. It was 2009, I think. That was statistically the best season of his career, and he was like 42.
But in that, when they went to the NFC Championship game against the Saints, and he threw that interception.
I know, but that's
him. That's
far. He's a gunslinger. He's like a Jay Cutler, but a Hall of Famer.
Jay Cutler is a way watered down.
Oh yeah, no. I'm talking about he makes the shitty decisions, but he makes them work, and Jay Cutler doesn't.
Speaking of which, Morgan, my wife, watches Very Cavallari, and Jay Cutler is her.
Yeah, isn't that chick from
It's
What was that show?
It's like Laguna Hills or Laguna Beach or something.
You know what else I could think of was Orange County Choppers.
That's what it was like. But yeah, Morgan was watching that one day, and I was like, "Is that Jay Cutler?" I was like, "That's Jay Cutler."
Yeah,
and she was like, "Who's Jay
Kristen
Cutler?"
Calavari or something like that.
Calavari or something.
Yeah, she's pretty though.
She is, yes. And
hey, that reminds me though. I think we were in high school during this draft, and it was Matt Leinart, Vince Young, and Jay Cutler, and they're all three, projected to go first round. And everybody in our school, you included, were all Vince Young, Matt Leinart. Like everybody, we were all debating, sports talking all the time about who was going to be the number one quarterback, the best quarterback out of that draft. Yeah. And the whole time, I was saying Jay Cutler's going to be the best quarterback out of that draft.
I would like to see that draft. Is there any way that we could look that draft up because I want to see what other quarterbacks came out of that draft.
That's true, and like later rounds. But I'm talking about
was that the draft that Rodgers got drafted in?
No, that was
24th.
No, that was Alex Smith's draft.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Rodgers didn't go to like 24th.
The only 3 first rounders in that draft. I want to say it was like 2007. The draft you're talking about, I think it was 2004 or 5.
That might have been.
But I think it was the 2007 draft when it was Vince Young, Matt Leinart, and Jay Cutler. And Cutler, Vince Young and Matt Leinart were on 2 powerhouses. And
I'm not gonna lie, I did
USC and Texas.
I did like Vince Young because I thought that he was.
Well, he had the most talent.
I didn't know he was such a head case, dude.
Yeah.
I did,
Well, and I mean that
buying out planes himself just to take over the seats.
And then look how his career fizzled out. Like like we've talked about before. We were there. His last game was a Titan, and pretty much the end of his career. He had to stop in Philly, and some tryouts with Cleveland and Green Bay after that.
Did he have? Wasn't he in? I thought he was with the Bills for a bit.
Yeah, I think he might have been there with them briefly too, but like nothing like Tennessee was pretty much the end of his career, and it was the game he threw his shoulder pads in the sidelines. Speaking of being a head case.
Yeah, yeah.
But I just remember, Matt Leinart and Vince Young were from 2 powerhouse college football programs, with USC and Texas, and Jay Cutler was from Vanderbilt. Yeah, and they won like 2 games that year. And I mean, really, it was just a gut feeling. It's not like I was a huge Vanderbilt fan or whatever. I followed the combine and stuff really heavy back then, and I just kind of I liked his style. I guess that.
Well, he's got a cannon. He's always had a cannon.
And he can do that sidearm throwing motion. And I guess the reason I liked him is because it reminded me of Favre.
He is tendencies of Brett Favre.
Yeah, he's just more. Sure. He's just got a little bit of Rex Grossman in him too.
Well, it's not even the Rex Grossman.
With the picks, I mean,
he's Favre, just not as tough or competitive. Because I think Cutler gave. I feel like I saw him give up a lot. Like
I don't even know if I would say give up. He
just had that attitude that he didn't care.
Well, I don't even feel like I agree with that. I just think he let things get to him in a way that Favre didn't. Like if the fans were booing,
he would shut down.
Yeah, exactly. Like he was like soft. You know?
It was soft. He was softer than Favre.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm going with Favre. I always believed in that Favre magic. That's my term for it, and it's not really my term. I think I've heard it probably on a sports broadcast at some point back in the day. Yeah, sure. But it's real. The Favre magic's real.
It's out there.
Yeah. And Jay Cutler never found it. Favre maybe never has relinquished it. I don't know, but I loved watching Favre in comeback situation in games because you never know what could happen.
Yeah. Well, that's the conversation I got in with when I saw him on that show. It just, and I was like, I know you don't know who that is, but that dude was an NFL quarterback for, when I was watching that show with Morgan, I was explaining to her, that dude was an NFL quarterback for 12 years, you know what I mean, or 11 years, and he could have been great, and he always had a cannon, I remember, and he could always he could always be going the opposite way of that he was throwing.
Who and reach about?
Cutler.
Oh, yeah.
And he could be going the opposite way. Yeah, and still like Favre, but still sling it.
And he could, I always love that sidearm throwing motion too, because he could fit it in a little gap or around to somebody that's about to sack him at the last second. Just like Favre would, or flip the ball funky or whatever.
Or now that Patrick Mahomes is doing. Patrick Mahomes is doing all that, and it's great.
Yeah, and Mahomes might have some Mahomes magic before we know it. Because
he will. He already has.
Season 1 was amazing to watch.
He's closer to Favre than he is Jay Cutler.
Well, God, yeah. I mean, he could. Well, I guess what I'm saying is he could end up being an icon like Favre.
Oh, I think so. I think he's already on his way.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I mean, he just got to stay healthy and keep playing the way he is.
He's so fun to watch. It's crazy. Mine has to be. I think I'm just going to go with Drew Brees. And
you can't go wrong there.
Because
I had to argue with that.
Well, and I've seen him play live, and it's just, it's something that it's just like I have no
It's
clue.
like art.
Yeah, because I saw Peyton Manning play live, and although obviously I know Peyton Manning's great, he got beat up and didn't play well in the game that I saw.
Right.
And not that that's everything, but when I was watching Drew Brees, I saw him throw 5 touchdowns.
He's like a machine or a computer or something, man.
Yeah.
He's like robo quarterback.
It doesn't matter that he plays in a dome. Like I watched him in the dome, but it doesn't matter that he plays in a dome. It doesn't matter where he's playing, and he's like 5'11", 6 foot, and but that's my opinion.
Yeah, and I mean he's just methodical with the ball, methodical with the offense, just dink dunk score.
Yeah. So the draft was a little bit ago. I wanted to get with you a couple things about that draft. One, I personally like the Redskins picks. I know you're a huge Redskins fan.
Yes. No secret.
Yeah, no secret. I personally like the Redskins first round. I was going to see what you thought about Haskins and Sweat.
Well, I mean, I've never discussed it yet to this point on here on the sidelines. I'm not an Ohio State fan. I'm from the Huntington, West Virginia area, so go Herd. We are Marshall. I don't. I have I guess that hometown loyalty to Marshall, and Ohio State's school that's bigger profile than Marshall, but it's still in like our backyard.
Yeah.
And so I grew up around.
I'm definitely rooting for Marshall over Ohio State as well.
Right, but we grew up around a lot of people that were predominantly Ohio State fans.
Yep.
And when you're getting in those college football debates, they don't give Marshall a lot of credit. So it always made me, frown more upon Ohio State than probably is deserved. But having said that, hail to the Redskins. I welcome Dwayne Haskins with open arms. I'm cautiously optimistic. Like it's not. I don't have the same confidence in this pick as I did when we drafted RG3. But that's also why he got picked like 14 and not number 2.
I think Haskins should have went 6. And he didn't.
Yeah, to the Giants.
He should have went 6
or
to the
7.
6.
6. Okay, yeah. Either way, yeah, I agree with that because he's better than that Jones guy from Duke. I agree with that 100%. And like I said, I'm not bashing Haskins. I'm excited. I'm excited about having a young quarterback in the building. The difference for me is the one season of experience or the one season of sample size for me to watch. Like, RG3 was a starter for like 3 straight years at Baylor. So it's like, you're that good for 3 years. I know you're good.
I think in today's time, you're going to have a lot less of those quarterbacks.
You're 100% right there, and I don't expect that.
Yeah.
And I'm not. That's not like a deal breaker for me. I'm excited. Like I said, to have a young quarterback in the building. Hopefully, he's going to compete with Colt and Case Keenum. And I'd love to see him seize the job, but I don't want us to hand him the job either.
I would think Case Keenum's going to come in day one. As the starter, and I think
he'll lead. Well, actually, if Colt McCoy's healthy, just because he's been in the offense for like 5 years, I think he'll get day 1 snaps in the OTAs. But he's not. He just came off for another ankle, I believe, procedure or leg procedure where he broke his leg in the season. Just recently, within the last month or so, had another procedure on his leg. So I think Keenum's going to definitely lead OTAs, and otherwise, McCoy would probably have something to say about that just from his experience in the offense. But hopefully, the first-round pick comes and seizes the job. I mean, you don't draft a guy that early with your first overall pick to not play.
To have him sit unless you have a plan of having him sit for that time period.
And as far as Montez Sweat is concerned, I'm excited. I mean, big guy, can get off to the quarterback. I didn't get to watch a lot of Mississippi State games, but I
just watched his film. They had his highlight tapes on.
Right, and I like that we traded back up to the first round with the Colts to get the 26th overall pick, and we got 2 players on both sides of the ball on some of the most impactful positions on their respective sides of the ball. Quarterback, obviously, and then, being able to get after the quarterback is about as important as it can be in this day and age NFL.
For sure.
So I'm excited about it. Even beyond those guys, we drafted in the third round Terry, I think it's McLaren, from Ohio State, the receiver. So he's already got a rapport with.
I saw that. I think that was a good idea. It seems like the NFL teams try to do that as well. If they get a quarterback, they try to get a receiver.
He's supposed to be like a burner
have.
too, like Deshaun Jackson type. And I mean, I'm not saying he's Deshaun Jackson, but it's hard not to be excited about that. And he's already got that natural chemistry with Dwayne Haskins. So if Haskins does start early in the season, then he's already got a weapon he's familiar with.
I think Sweat had questions about his character, I guess, and that's why he fell so far. Otherwise, he was supposed to be like a top 5 pick.
Oh, really?
And he had questions about his character and how he can't really take coaching and critique, and but hopefully, the Redskins can not do that. If you can't do that on the NFL level, then
and we've got the good thing about the Redskins defensive staff is we've got several former head coaches on the defensive staff or defensive coordinators. Jim Tomsula comes to mind, the D-line coach that coached the San Francisco 49ers. Another really respected defensive coach, Rob Ryan, linebackers coach. One of the Ryan brothers. And then Ray Horton, that coached defense for the Cardinals the year they went to the Super Bowl. He is secondary coach now there in Washington. So you got a lot of really good leaders on the defensive side of the ball for the Redskins, and hopefully, having that kind of pedigree will allow Sweat to be coached, or
hopefully they instill that
himself to be coached.
Hopefully they instill that type of culture. Hopefully they instill that type of culture.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, I feel like they do. I mean, Horton and Rob Ryan are new to the staff. Tom Sula's been there for a couple years, but I feel like there's just a lot of voices that are easy to respect because of everything they've accomplished in the NFL within that defense, and hopefully that'll allow him to be able to take coaching better than maybe he did while he was at Mississippi State. Yeah,
I definitely agree.
What about your Rams though?
They did not have a first-round pick. They had 2 second-round picks, a couple third-round picks. They went.
Anybody you're excited about?
Honestly, they went running back. They went running back, offensive tackle, and then they went a linebacker.
They went running back first. See,
in the second or third round.
I mean, I know it wasn't a first round pick. But their first, really,
I believe their first pick was
a team that's got
back.
Todd Gurley on roster.
Well, I think they're wanting to try to find someone to limit his reps because.
Well, and I agree with that, but I don't know. I mean, when you're in a draft that you don't have a first round pick, do you use your first overall pick?
It could have been that they took an offensive tackle first and then because that's the way I would have go. I would have beefed up that offensive line. I would have beefed up that offensive line to definitely
pave lanes for Todd Gurley.
And protect Jared Goff, because I think Goff's better than people give him credit for. I really do. I think people give him credit because he's in Sean McVay's system, whatever the case may be.
I think if he does it for a second year, his first year was it wasn't this year, you know. And I think if he does that another year, then it's hard. How can you not acknowledge the consistent quality?
He's a consistent
and
quarterback. Yeah. Now, does he probably need a couple weapons around him? Yeah, I'm sure, but what quarterback doesn't need a couple weapons around him to be a little bit successful?
Oh yeah,
you need weapons.
Yeah, or at least a strong running game. Or
unless
you got to have something. You can't. Unless you're Tom Brady. Or,
unless you're Brady or Belichick,
or
that just
Peyton
have
Manning,
a system that's down forever. Or
one of these quarterbacks that can carry an offense, basically, and make everybody around them better.
Yeah, or a Peyton Manning that could come up and call complete audibles. Complete plays at the line.
I remember Peyton Manning. I read. I don't know if I saw it on ESPN or read it in an article, but he every time he went up to the line of scrimmage, there was 20 possible plays, or something like that, something crazy like that. Like he went up with like 2 different formations and like 10 different plays for both formations, and you know he would change the formation by sending someone in motion, and then you know audible to the play or whatever.
And I don't think I've ever seen.
Like, how do you prepare for that as a defense?
I see Brady and Breeze and Favre and people like that. You know, Rodgers, audible and at the line. Like,
I don't see any of the new quarterbacks that are coming
I don't
out
see any
doing
of the
it.
new quarterbacks doing that as much, but the person I saw doing it the most was Peyton Manning. Like Peyton Manning, I've never seen anybody.
But what I'm
do
saying
it
is,
like
I think that's like leaving the game.
it is.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's becoming more and more kind of like college, honestly, with these fast-paced offense.
It's a fast-paced off, like
And
the Eagles.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
Eagle-
Especially when Chip Kelly was there.
Yeah.
But
even
like,
now.
But like,
Even now.
any day now, like we'll start seeing them, you know, calling plays from the sideline with cards. You know, they won't even go to huddle, no huddle offenses and stuff. You know,
Well,
like,
Philly runs. You know, Philly has that type of no huddle offense, and you know, there's a couple other Falcons run it sometimes.
the Chiefs will get into
The
a
Chiefs,
fast-paced offense like that.
The Chiefs will, but honestly, that like Patrick Mahomes can really do whatever he wants.
Oh, he can do whatever he wants.
That-
That's just, but I mean, it's more they're trying to play off of Andy Reid's skill set, and that it's just a young, fast-paced offense, not just Patrick Mahomes. Tyreek Hill. Well, Kelsey's really not that young, but he's just elite. They've got a good running back core or group that all can carry the ball, even without Kareem Hunt. So they can just run a really fast-paced style. Was it DeAnthony Thomas? I believe his name. He's one of their little slot guys that he came out of Oregon though, so he's been running that kind of offense his whole life.
Yeah. Well, if I was, they get players like that, and Andy Reid knows what he's doing. But if I was them, kind of talking about the Chiefs, I would I'd absolutely get rid of Tyreek Hill after all that.
I mean, it's hard. I mean, I don't know the whole story, but I can't disagree with that. It sounds awful.
It's straight child abuse.
Yeah,
and
that's what it sounds like.
It's worse than the whole.
I'm not gonna defend that.
Yeah, it's no matter how good he is as a player, because he's electric as a player, and everybody knows that.
Right.
You beat your kid. You shouldn't. If I was the owner of that team, you're not on my team, no matter who you are.
I agree. And with those recordings and stuff, it doesn't sound like there's a position he could take that's defensible.
Yeah, but supposedly the state prosecutor can't even, as of right now, as of last I heard, they can't even prosecute him because his fiance is not coming out against him.
Right.
So they can't even.
Right. So I while we're sitting here, I did pull up the Rams picks in order. Their first pick was actually a guy named Taylor Rapp, DB from Washington.
Yes, that's what it was.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
The Rams have been known for having strong secondaries and stuff.
They usually get them through they usually get them through free agency though.
But
They're
they've
not
had some
ones
good picks. Didn't they pick Janoris Jenkins?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
and
they
that
picked
Trumaine
Janoris.
Johnson too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, those are two guys that have been lockdown corners in the league. And then after that, they did go that running back from Memphis in round 3, Darrell Henderson.
Yeah, which I watched his tape. He's good. He's stout, man. Didn't face tough competition.
Right.
He's stout, but what they're wanting to do is Todd Gurley's getting a lot of carries and a lot of work, and it showed at the end of last season that he was wore down. He was playing hurt.
Yes, definitely.
And he was wore down.
Yeah. It's the long season like that, and multiple seasons of being the guy. It's wearing him down come game 14, 15, 16.
And who wouldn't it? So they need to limit his touches.
Of course, and that happens to every running back.
Yeah.
The elite guys and the guys that are just flash in the pan. A 16-game season takes your toll on a running back. That's a lot of hits on your shoulders and your knees.
I just don't want to see it happen to someone as talented but as young either as Gurley.
Right. No, of course, and it's because he's your guy. I mean, he's a.
Well, he's the franchise now.
He sure is.
The Rams lose him. I mean, it's hard. They've got playmakers. They definitely have Robert Woods. I like Cooper Kupp, man.
I
love
like Cooper Kupp. Really,
he's a great slot receiver.
Yeah.
But
kind of reminds me of Adam Thielen.
Yeah, he does, and I think he could become that.
Yeah.
If he is thrust into the number one option.
Right.
They've got weapons, but that Todd Gurley is the centerpiece of that offense.
What did you think about Kyler Murray going number 1 overall to the Cardinals?
Well, okay, so one I will say, and that's kind of leads in to the next thing I was going to ask you about. I think it's One, I think it's kind of ridiculous that the Cardinals, Kingsbury, whatever, must have.
King's fired in 2 seasons.
Yeah, I mean, so they're going to wait 2 seasons to fire him. So I don't know what kind of pull or power or influence.
I don't even know how he got this job.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
He got fired from Texas Tech.
Yeah,
he got fired,
and then he got a job with the Cardinals.
Yeah, you got fired from is Texas Tech in Big 12 or the SEC?
They're in the Big 12.
I thought so. Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah.
Either way, I don't even care.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter. You got fired.
Yeah.
From a college program, and because you weren't.
You weren't up to par.
Yeah, you weren't up to par. I'm not saying you were bad, but you weren't winning national championships. And then you get an NFL job.
Yeah. If they are in the SEC, then it is tougher competition and defenses. In the Big 12.
I still don't care.
But
it's not as competitive as the NFL is.
Yeah.
If you can't compete there, how are you going to be a good NFL coach?
Yeah.
I feel like it should be mandatory almost that you have a national championship.
Yeah, to be coaching.
To go from a college head coach to an NFL head coach.
Yeah. Now here's the thing: maybe he comes in as a coordinator.
Yeah,
maybe he
that's
comes
fine.
in as an offensive coordinator,
and then you can be hired from a coordinator to an NFL head coach.
Yeah, but you go straight to coach.
Yeah.
So,
especially after getting fired.
That's what bothered me about that pick was here's the thing, not that Kyler Murray didn't deserve to be number 1 overall pick. He probably did, I guess. The only thing that scares me away from him, obviously, is it's not the intangibles. It's his height, and you don't see a lot of quarterbacks that are built like him that turn out. You just
to me, it's
don't.
just a whole man crush too.
You just
It's
don't.
just weird. Like he's been recruiting this dude his whole life, and
he played at Texas Tech for for a little bit, then transferred.
Did he play for him? I didn't even think
He was on their roster.
Recruited for him.
He was on their roster for a bit, if I'm not mistaken, and then he transferred because he wasn't
either
playing.
way, it's just like
I'm pretty sure that's.
I just feel like it's like you just for some reason like this guy so much that you'll just sell the farm to get him. You know what I mean?
They didn't really have to give anything up. It's just other than Josh Rosen,
number 1 overall pick, and you had a first round pick from 1 season ago sitting on roster.
And it was the same position.
Yeah,
that's just
I mean, it just doesn't. The whole thing is just messy to me.
Honestly,
and I don't even blame that. I don't blame Kingsbury as much for that as the Cardinals organization because they bailed on Steve Wilkes after 1 season as the head coach.
Well, the Broncos did the same thing to their coach.
No, Vance Joseph coached 2 seasons for.
Well, still Denver. 1 to 2 seasons.
Yeah, I know. I don't feel like 2 seasons is a lot either. But I
think it should be at least 3-year contracts. You don't do anything.
These guys are signing 4 and 5 year contracts. They're just getting fired. But at least if you gave 2 seasons, it's like you gave them 1 season, and you're like, okay, we'll get. That's okay. You can have 1 bad year, but you need to make some progress this year.
At least make some progress.
Yeah, but at least you gave them 2 strikes at it. Like I don't know how you hire a guy and say this is your guy, and we believe in him, and you give him 1 season
to turn the Cardinals roster around. It's not like he took over the Patriots.
No, yeah,
he didn't take over.
And Bruce Arians is a genius. He got out of that dumpster fire for a year and then got a new job in Tampa. Yeah. He's by the beach and probably in a better situation too.
I think a better team situation for sure.
Yeah, and a better organization as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, that team has more talent than the Cardinals do. Right. I think all around. I like Rosen going to the Dolphins. I think.
Well, I like it. I like it for both. I like it for Rosen getting out of Arizona and getting out of that dumpster fire, I just said.
And the Dolphins need a quarterback.
Yeah, and they got it for good value. I mean, I think they gave up like a 3rd-round pick.
Yeah,
or a 2nd-round pick. I think
and he's a 1st-round pick.
Yeah, first-round pick from a year ago. He's still, he's not a broken man.
He showed flashes. Yeah. He showed flashes last year.
And against an atrocious offensive line.
Terrible. Probably the worst offensive line. Yeah. I don't know the stats, but bottom 5 offensive line in the league.
Easily. Yeah. I'm happy for Rosen, and I think the Dolphins, that was a smart move. I still hope Fitzmagic or Ryan Fitzpatrick wins the starting job.
48 on the Wonderlic.
Yeah, I know, right? Shout out Harvard. But I still hope Ryan Fitzpatrick wins the starting job, honestly, because I just love watching him play.
I love watching him play until his hype gets up, and then he goes to a game and he throws 6 picks.
Yeah,
that's what I don't love.
It's still like the 3rd game in a row he's been playing good, And it's everybody's like, "Oh man,
Here
look
he
at Ryan
comes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yeah.
making moves this year." And then he's like, "Oh, you think I'm good? Ha ha, gotcha."
Let me go out here and throw 7 picks in the first half.
Yeah,
real quick.
yeah. I'm gonna show Nathan Peterman a thing or two.
That was awful.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Why is he still in the league? He's in Oakland. He's in Oakland. How does he have a job and Colin Kaepernick doesn't have a job?
So I was going to say that. So I'm confirming Kaepernick has not been signed at this point, right?
And Nathan Peterman is on the Oakland Raiders.
That right there
Yeah.
should show you that there's someone against Colin Kaepernick
Oh, yeah,
and keeping him out of the
yeah.
league on purpose.
it's-
Blackballing.
Yeah, it's plain as day. How is this guy? This guy doesn't do anything but throw to the other team. And Colin Kaepernick played in the Super Bowl, and he's still young. And
He went to 2 NFC championships.
yeah. So no, I mean he's definitely being conspired against, which is a whole nother thing. And
And I'm not saying Kaepernick can come in and start for any NFL team.
no, I'm not even saying.
Yeah,
I'm not even saying he should be
that.
a starter. I'm just saying
Yeah.
the fact that he's not in the league is just
Is
it's
it-
laughable.
It's an obvious image, observation of what Roger Goodell's about and what this league is about.
Yeah, and I don't even know how much Roger Goodell does or doesn't.
I don't care. I don't like that guy.
I don't either. But I don't know how much he does or doesn't have a part in this. But the owners, especially.
Oh, every single one of them.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to throw this out there. I'm going to throw a stat out there. I don't know the exact numbers. I guarantee you at least 85% of the owners of the league are white.
Oh yeah, no, they are. I don't think there's a black.
That's
in the
I was just
league.
saying it safe.
The National
I was
Football
playing
League.
it safe.
Yeah,
I didn't want to come out
I
and
don't
say
say black. Any minority.
yeah. Anybody.
Yeah,
It's all white.
Yeah, I take that back. The Jacksonville Jaguars. The Shad Khan is, I believe he's of Arab descent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's it. That's it.
Yeah. So there
he's
is
probably got that oil money. Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
like-
you know he does.
Yeah.
There's something to be said about that.
Yeah. 100%.
About
100%.
that. There is a reason.
And that's because
And maybe Kaepernick doesn't want to be in the league that bad. I don't know. But if he wants to be in the league and he's being
no, I
kept
think
out,
he does. I think, don't
I haven't seen him out in interviews saying, they won't let me in. I've been trying out. They won't let
he
me in.
sued the league. He sued the league for colluding against him.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, he sued the league for that in the beginning.
Here's what I'm going to say is I think like some team would give him like a vet minimum contract if he'd come play for that. That's almost like a slap in the face because he's not a vet minimum player. Like I'm not saying he should be a starter, but like RG3 isn't even a vet minimum player, and he backs up Lamar Jackson in Baltimore. He was making a little bit above vet minimum even last year, and he was the third string guy behind Flacco and Jackson. And Kaepernick's probably better than RG3.
Well, the contracts are the way they are. He might have probably been offered numerous vet minimum contracts from teams, but the reason those contracts are the way they are now is because of what we were talking about, the culture of the owners in the league that just don't want him in the league.
Yeah.
They don't
No, I
want him
agree.
there.
I
It's
agree.
bad PR.
It's bad PR, and
Which is ridiculous.
and it's bad business because you're not picking up the best players available.
Yeah, it's
You know?
ridiculous.
Like I said, Nathan Peterman is still in the
It's
NFL.
on our roster.
Yeah, and Colin Kaepernick's on the couch.
And Colin Kaepernick is
And
10 times the athlete.
Here's to you, Kaepernick.
Yeah. There it is.
Yeah, Bud Heavy forever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's-
Budweiser. Shout out Budweiser, a great American beer.
That's for you, Cap. That's for you.
Even though
we
it's
hear
made
you.
in Belgium, or at least owned by a Belgium company. We're not going to go there.
Not to get that deep into it. So, speaking about we were talking about the draft, college athletes. I want to get your opinion on paying college athletes.
You know my opinion on this. I hate that the universities can make so much money off these guys. I
The
mean,
NCAA is $1 billion, but like an $8 billion a year business.
yeah,
With a B.
I hate that the
Billion.
NCAA and the colleges / universities can make so much money off these guys, and they get in trouble for getting free tattoos or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or if their coach takes them out to eat, they're in trouble.
Yeah, I mean it's just comical to me, and it's
gross to me, man.
Yeah, it's comical to me because it's so gross and obvious.
Yeah.
and the people that try to argue otherwise or argue that they shouldn't be paid.
It's the older.
It's just like it makes me respect what you think about everything less because you think these guys should be putting their bodies on the line and making these universities and the NCAA millions and billions of dollars. and they shouldn't get anything.
Yeah. Now, do I think it definitely should be on a scale to where...
I'm not saying they should be getting paid like NFL players.
Well, I think it should have to do, obviously, with the school you're at, how big they are, how much TV time they have, as well as the sport you're in.
Yeah.
I don't think that a swimmer at Duke should be making as much as the...
Or a rower at Stanford
should be making as much as the
starting quarterback.
Yeah, should be making as much as the starting running back or
because
quarterback.
of the money that they bring in respectively.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. But
it still should be compensation of some sort, other than a free education.
My thing is, but I say that, but like I don't feel like it should be tiered either. Now that I say that, I feel like you should be making maybe like $100,000 a year, no matter what sport you're playing.
They could, the way they do it. I mean, that's fine. The football and basketball programs would be funding all that, like they do now.
That's true.
Like they do now.
That's true. But I could stomach. I feel like you're more likely to get that. That they, you know what I mean? Like from the NCAA's perspective.
Maybe. But I think if you're in a sport that's bringing
no, I agree with that. From
revenue,
a business perspective,
you need to be making just from a player.
No, I'm talking about business perspective from the player side of things because that's the side I'm on.
Yeah.
But then again, like I'm saying, from as far as negotiating with the NCAA, I feel like you'd have to make it balanced because NCAA is all about balance when it comes to everybody not getting paid.
I think it's all the same. I think it's all the same to them.
It is. That's what I'm saying. Nobody gets paid.
I know.
So I don't feel like because my thing is I feel like that if they're gonna compromise or whatever, they're not going to be like, all right, you're right. The football players get a couple million, and then but the swimmers don't get anything because they didn't bring in any money. No, they're just going to be like, okay, well, everybody gets just a little piecemeal piece, like just a small baby piece. It's not going to. They're going to find some way to make it small, and we can't pay. They're all collegiate athletes. We can't pay them more than them, so we're all just going to pay them this small little rate. They'll find some way to skew it, but just the fact that they don't get paid at all and they can't make money off the work they're doing for the university is atrocious. I mean, I agree with you from 100% that not only should they be getting paid, the players that are bringing the money in should be getting paid more. But it's just so rigged. Honestly, it's so rigged so that the NFL wishes it could do what the NCAA did or does or whatever. That you just the way that they have the athletes under their thumb and the athletes have no leverage in negotiations.
Well, it's because they're pretty much kids.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why they're not grown men, really.
Yeah.
I mean, they at 18 technically they are, but it's not. They're not grown men.
Well, and it's not just that. It's that the NFL and the NCAA are in cahoots. Because you can't just go straight from high school to the NFL and start getting paid. You have to go to college and play for free for at least a year.
Well, that's
or sit out a year.
Going back to your point about the, I think that's why that it wouldn't matter if someone tried to compromise or not. I think the NCAA body, as an organization, would look at that. Even if you're offering every college athlete $100,000, or if you're saying football, the starting quarterback for Alabama gets $300,000 and the swimmer for Alabama gets $20,000. So I think they would see that as the same. It's not about that with them.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
It's about them actually respecting and looking at these athletes like people, and they don't.
Right.
They look at them as dollar signs, and they look at them as money revenue streams, and they don't look at them as people, because the NFL, for all their faults, look at their athletes most of the time as people
that can make.
They give them contracts that are respectful to their athletic ability.
Yeah,
and to what they
because
do.
They have to, though, because it's a bunch of grown men made a union to negotiate with the
and
NFL
that's what's so sick about college athletes is that when the quarterback from Northwestern tried to start a players union,
I remember that
in college.
Yeah, it wasn't too long ago.
He got shut down by the NCAA. Like they put every lawyer they had on it and shut it down. And that's what's gross about that organization.
No,
that's
I agree.
what's real gross.
I agree.
But I definitely do think that free education doesn't cut it anymore. It's not. It's not. It doesn't cut it anymore. The free education isn't worth.
No, I agree. And like I said, something we've mentioned on a previous episode, it's not even just a free education, because some of these guys aren't even getting the free education. They're paying to go to this university, just still put their bodies on the line and still try to build their resume, build their career, into a potential NFL career, and they're having to pay. Not only they're not getting paid, they're losing money in this endeavor.
Yeah. Well, so real quick before we get into the trivia portion, it's the fact that so I saw Richard Sherman's press conference, and he gave interviews about this. Now Richard Sherman talks a lot, he runs his mouth, but that dude is smart.
I don't like
dude.
Everything he has to say, but he is very intelligent.
Very intelligent dude.
Yeah.
So he talked about the schedule of a full-time college athlete, because you can't have a part-time job as a college athlete, D1 college athlete, and have a part-time job and still expect to be the starting position in the starting position that you're trying to reach all season long, working out, whatever. You can't have a part-time job on the side.
Right.
That doesn't
No, you
work
can't.
out.
No. I mean, your sports program or whatever sport it is, even if it's not football, any of them,
You're working year in, year out, day in, day out to get that
and that's
spot.
something I'll give to any of the sports, because it's like a full-time job.
Yeah.
And
on top of
practice
studying.
and conditioning training, studying.
On top of your classes.
Yeah, all that stuff. Yes. Yeah.
So that is. That's what I find really crazy about it.
And I know we've already got past our NFL draft portion, but real quick, I did want to get your take. I want to go into something a little bit in depth more, since we're talking about college athletics. Daniel Jones, I believe his name, to the Giants. What was your take on that? Because I thought that.
So at first,
I thought that was a reach.
Oh, at first I thought it was okay. So I still think it's a reach. Let me clarify. I still think it's a reach. But the more and more I think about it, the more and more I watch tape, you had your doubts about Haskins.
Yeah, but it was just because it was a single season.
So what if they took Jones with that pick?
I would have even more doubts.
You would have more doubts than Haskins?
Yes.
Okay, that's why I didn't.
Yeah, I'd have deeper, more distressing
more worries
doubts.
More worries.
He played quarterback for Duke.
Well, that's what's crazy. So apparently, the more and more I hear about it,
like as much as I'm not a huge Ohio State fan, I have much more confidence in Ohio State's strength of schedule
than Duke's. Duke. That is true.
Yeah.
But what I keep hearing is, and I still think it's a reach. I still think it's a bad pick, and I still think they should have taken Haskins. If I was ever the general manager of the Giants, that's exactly what I would have done. But I'm not Dave Gettleman.
Yeah, well, that's the guy that just traded Odell Beckham too.
Yeah, so. Exactly. For
like
a first round.
A washing machine.
Yeah, pretty
It's
much.
like semi-pro when Woody Harrelson got traded for a washing machine.
Yeah.
He's like, I remember he's at his girlfriend's house and he's like, I don't even know what I'm talking about. I just got traded for a damn washing machine.
Yeah. And then he goes out back and kicks the cop's window out. Yeah. So, and that's what I find so one weird about that pick.
Sorry, yeah. Basically, Dave Gettleman traded Odell Beckham Jr. for Jabril Peppers, like a draft pick or two and a washing machine.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's what it was.
This is the new dumps. This is the new Detroit Lions.
This is the new Browns. It's the Giants.
Yeah. This is going to go so bad.
Yeah.
They don't know what they're doing.
They have no clue.
They got rid of Odell Beckham, and so it looks like they're going in total rebuild, but then they signed Golden Tate to a multi-million-dollar deal, which he's a great receiver, but it's just like,
is he a number one guy?
Why wouldn't you just keep Odell then?
Yeah, if you want that guy, you're going to give that. You're going to give Golden Tate 75% of the money you were going to give Odell,
and you just paid Odell this season. Yeah, I mean, like,
just give it to Odell.
I can't make sense for this for anything. I mean,
now here's my thing: if they would have got rid of Odell and used that cap space to beef up their offensive line, get a new running back, beef up their defense,
they did it just to go into rebuild mode, but then not go into rebuild mode,
but just get another receiver.
I don't understand what's going on. Like, if you're doing that, why is Eli? Honestly, why is Eli still on the roster? Even though I'm a fan of Eli,
they're going to keep Eli.
I'm not even a fan. I'm a Redskins fan.
Well, you respect
on Eli.
You respect.
I respect.
I respect Eli too.
Yeah. And talking about clutch performers,
Eli has done it. Eli did it in 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, especially that 2007 one, that David Tyree catch and that whole drive. Yeah. But like, how if you're going in rebuild mode, how are you getting rid of Odell, but then sign Golden Tate and you have Eli? I mean, it just does. None of it makes sense. Now you also got a first round quarterback. But you've got Eli. I don't know. I don't know what direction they're trying to go in, honestly.
Well, so what they're trying to do with Jones is that Jones attended the Manning camps.
I saw that. And I get the connection there.
Yeah.
And I get that, like, he might not be total trash. I just don't.
I don't think he's total trash because apparently he ran a more complicated offense at Duke than Haskins ran at Ohio
Did
State.
Krzyzewski coach that too?
Yeah, probably. I don't know Duke's coach, so I mean he probably.
No one does. No one knows who Duke's football coach is except Duke alumni and Duke students and Duke fans.
Yeah.
No one knows anything about Duke's football program. I mean, like,
So the highlight tapes that I saw of him, he looked good. I'm not going to say he looked like trash, but you probably do look good.
How many of those highlight films you've seen where it's like, hey, here's an interception. Look at this pick six.
Yeah.
Good spiral. Yeah. Good tight spiral.
On that pick six. Yeah. So I think that a lot of people think it's a reach, and I think it is a reach. I think he's going to not pan out, but if he can sit behind Eli, it might be. If he can sit behind Eli for 3 years,
it could be like a Roger situation. I can see that.
Well, I won't even say Roger.
I'm not saying he's going to be as good as Rodgers, but
no, I'm saying I don't think Favre helped Rodgers that much.
I don't think Eli's going to help him that much. I don't care how much they were friends.
Eli
don't want to have another situation where he's benched mid-season.
I think if he understands that Dave Gettleman knows that he's not going to allow that to happen now.
Just like Odell understood that Dave Gettleman wasn't going to trade him after he signed him to a 6 or 8 year extension or whatever it was. Yeah, like
I don't know. What they're doing.
A lot of faith in Dave Gettleman and his loyalty to players.
I say they're over under this year. I got him under 5 games.
I got him under 3.
Yeah, so
I got him under 3. I don't know how they're going to win a game.
Eli will win some games for him.
Yeah,
I mean he will.
Yeah, well, didn't they start off last year at like 0-7?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and they had Odell Beckham.
Yeah,
with Eli.
Yeah.
Now they've got Golden Tate.
Yeah, which is not Odell.
Yeah, so. No, and like I say that, and I'm not trying to disrespect Golden Tate because he's a good player.
He's not Odell though.
He's not top 10.
Yeah, he's not top 10 of the league.
Yeah, no. And Odell's top 3 or 4.
He barely makes top 20 in my book.
Right,
probably.
Right.
So, yeah, I think that the Giants are going to be a dumpster fire. I definitely agree.
They're currently a dumpster fire.
All right, now we're going to move on to our trivia portion of the evening.
I hope this is the drinking portion.
Yeah, everybody's favorite, hopefully. First, I'm going to introduce our sponsors. Trivia is always sponsored by Sleepy Pelican Travel Group and the Bar on 3rd in Ironton, Ohio. Whenever you get the chance, please give them a like, follow, and check them out at Sleepy Pelican TG and at Bar on 3rd. So getting into the trivia portion, I will let you go first, sir, if you would like. So do your worst.
All right. If you want this punishment, well, first off, you didn't shout out our liquor, Brian.
If one of us had to take a shot, I was going to. I'll go ahead. I'll go ahead and shout it out.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and do it. I was going to wait till one of us had to take a shot.
That's part of the bit. You know, we got to introduce this week's liquor.
Yeah, I was going to do it before one of us took a shot. So I'll go ahead and do it. It is Smooth Ambler, Old Scout American Whiskey by Smooth Ambler out of Lewisburg, West Virginia. I'm kind of nervous actually to try this because I've never heard of it. I just randomly found it.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We'll see how smooth it is. But
go ahead,
you will, because I'm going to get all mine right.
Yeah, I'm sure. Go ahead.
All right. So with my first question, who was the first pick of the 2009 NFL Draft?
Oh my gosh.
It's the year we graduated, Brian.
Yeah, is this going to be something? Gosh, 09. So we're talking 10 years ago. Oh gosh, first pick of the 2000.
Think about first overall picks.
Yeah, I know. Gosh, first pick of the 2009 NFL Draft. Ah, man, I'm going to get this one wrong. I'm going to go with Cam Newton.
No. Although Cam Newton was a first overall pick, I'm not sure off top what year he was.
Yeah,
but the first overall pick of the 2009. Because I think Cam was drafted after RG3 and Andrew Luck, wasn't he? And they were 2012.
I think he went before, man. I think he went before.
Was he before? Then he was. I feel like he was a year on either side.
Yeah.
So either it was 2011 or 2013. Yeah. But the first pick of the 2009 NFL Draft was following an 0-16 season. the Detroit Lions selected Matthew Stafford.
I was so close to saying
Matthew
that.
Stafford, yes, sir.
Gosh, I was so close.
You were right
to
with the
saying
quarterback, though.
that. Yeah, I was so close to saying that. I literally ran across my head saying Matt Stafford.
But
I didn't know he was a number 1 overall, though.
Right, yeah. But have some smooth Ambler.
All right, I'm about to have some smooth Ambler, Old Scout. Shout out to Lewisburg, West Virginia.
Yeah, shout out to West Virginia, almost heaven.
Yeah, blessed by God.
Yummy. Yeah.
That was a lot.
Yeah, that was. I feel like it was more than a shot.
That was a lot, and it's not great.
Yeah, well, most whiskeys aren't really that great.
I'm going to give it a 2.3 out of 10. That was awful.
Oh, shoot.
All right, man.
What's your first question, brother?
All right, here I come. The NBA, who was the NBA's leader in minutes played this year? Total minutes played.
Minutes played.
And it's one player that has the...
Well, I figured that because I figured you wouldn't give me a question that has 2 answers because that'd be too easy.
Yeah. I do actually have a question like that, but you only have to get one of them right.
Okay. Well, I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
But as far as the first one, minutes played per game, I feel like it's got to be someone young but also playing at a high level. I'm going to go Russell Westbrook.
That is a good guess. I don't know what he was this year. It's Bradley Beal.
Bradley Beal, and that's sad that I don't know that being a Washington Wizards fan.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I love Bradley Beal.
I
great
did
player.
not know that. I did not know that. Yeah, and I've seen him play live a couple times.
Yeah.
But shout out Wizards.
He's really all they got right now. John Wall's off and on. And,
yeah. And this was really kind of a disappointing season, but
he's honestly the best player they have, in my opinion. Well, in my opinion, I think he's better than John Wall.
Well, I don't know if I agree with you there, but I'm probably going to agree with you on how well this shot goes down. So
go ahead and get that down there.
Lewisburg, West Virginia, Huntington, West Virginia, specifically. No. Shout out West Virginia. Here we go.
Get it. There you go. All the way down.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck.
Oh, yeah. That was a good one, huh?
Yeah, that was great. Yeah. It went down so smooth. Yeah.
All right. Hit me up while you are hitting me up with your second one. I'm going to go ahead and get us set up.
Yes, sir. Okay. So moving on to my second question. And I think you'll like this one. There's a well, I don't want to tell you this has been too much of a hint, so I can't say what I was about to say. But to my second question, what team did Kobe Bryant play in the final game of his career?
Oh, man, he put up 60 points. I know that.
Yeah, 60 points exactly. You're 100% right there, but what team did he beat?
So I don't know if the Spurs would have let him do that, and I don't know why I'm leaning that way.
You're going to kick yourself when you find out if you're not right.
So I want to lean towards the Spurs, but I don't think they would have let him score 60.
Popovich wouldn't let him.
I don't think Popovich would have let him score
The
60.
NBA wouldn't let him trash Popovich. Like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. The rest
They need
would-
like the Suns or somebody to come to town.
Yeah. I guess, I mean, he scored his 81 on the Raptors. I guess it would only be like fitting. Gosh, let's just go with like somebody like the Celtics. I'm going to go with the Celtics as my final answer.
No. And the reason, the hint I was going to give you is this is a big tie-in to our first episode here on the Sidelines. Kobe Bryant dropped 60 points on the Utah Jazz.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I knew that was going to, yeah. I didn't know that, obviously. I didn't get it right. But,
the Utah Jazz comes back.
Yeah. Shout out to all the Mormons out there.
Yeah.
All right.
Shout out to episode 1 of On the Sidelines.
Yes. I do a quick second. Everybody who's listening right now, this far into this over hour-long episode that we do, I appreciate all the support and all the subscribing
definitely.
and everything like that.
Definitely.
So thank you guys. Really do appreciate it.
Yep.
The shot's for you.
Yeah. Hey, cheers.
Cheers. It's still bad.
Yeah. Yeah, the second one didn't get any easier.
No, still
All
bad.
right, hopefully I get my next question right then.
Yeah.
All right, what's your question 2?
All right, you ready for this?
Yeah. You're going to love my third question. I can't wait.
All right. Who is the NBA's career leader all time in personal fouls?
Personal fouls. Wow, that's good. There's a couple names that come to mind. Some that are a little bit more obvious than others. I think of Ron Artest. I think of Dennis Rodman.
Those are the two. I'm going to go ahead and tell you.
I think of Allen Iverson.
Yeah, those are the 2 or 3 that you think of that ought to be there, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you it's not.
Okay, good.
So,
that makes it even easier.
Yeah.
Because those are the people I thought of first. When I think of personal fouls, I'm going to go Michael Jordan.
That actually, I was going to say that's a good guess, but he's way down on that list.
Really?
So, yeah, it's
Really?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Kareem. Huh.
He has 40 over 40.
Man, your questions are hard this time. I don't like this.
Oh, get it. Yours are hard, too.
Yeah. We graduated in 2009. I didn't watch Kareem Abdul-Jabbar play.
One, man. That was a tough one. Over 4,600 personal fouls.
4,600.
Yeah, real quick, if I can find him.
Where was Jordan?
That's what I'm looking for. I don't think I
Who's
can.
number 2?
Number 2 is Karl Malone.
Hey,
Yeah.
shout out Jazz.
Yeah. So I really can't find Jordan. Like Dirk's higher than Jordan on personal fouls. I really can't.
Wow.
Scottie Pippen's higher than Jordan. But Jordan, okay, so Jordan would like take the refs out to like dinner. Like he would find out who the refs were and like take them out to
So
dinner.
would Billy Belichick.
So he would like find out who the refs were and then like take him out to dinner the night before the game. So he probably didn't get a lot of fouls called.
Once again, Lewisburg, West Virginia. I guess so far neither one of us have got one right. So we're just going to get
Right, we're just going back and forth.
Yeah. So and we're just going to finish this bottle apparently. Here we go. Whew, gosh, man. Yeah, it doesn't get easier.
It doesn't. No, it's still the same. Still the same.
Goodness. All right. Well, I wish I was finishing because I feel like this is a really good question to finish on.
Okay.
But you get to go last, unfortunately.
Well, I can go ahead. If you think it's that good, I'll go ahead and let you have the
Yeah,
very last
just because
question.
it's a different topic we've covered yet, or we haven't covered yet here on the
Okay,
sidelines.
that's fine. I'll go. Mine's an NFL question. My last one's an NFL question.
Okay, yeah, mine's not.
Okay, I'll go ahead and go so you can have the glory.
Yeah.
So-
well, good, and hopefully the dub.
Who is okay? So there's 2 players tied all-time NFL career leaders in kick return touchdowns. There are 2 that are tied. All you have to do is guess.
Devin
one.
Hester.
That's wrong.
What?
It's punt. He leads in punt returns.
Okay, can I
Oh, you gonna take it back now?
I'll take a second guess, but I'll still do my shot.
You don't have to because there's 2. So just guess one of them.
Yeah, no, but
Devin Hester is the all-time leader in punt return touchdowns.
Yeah, but I already made my guess, so this doesn't count. I will still take my
Okay.
shot.
So do you have another guess though?
Yeah.
I think go ahead. You could guess. There's 2 players that are tied with 8 all time.
Daryl Green.
No, I'd like to
Dang.
see where he's on the list. Though.
Dang, gosh, Dante Hall.
He's high on the list, but no.
No, man.
He's second.
So I had 3 guesses, man. I'm glad I didn't have to take 3 shots for this.
You will know these players as well.
Oh, great.
Josh Cribbs and
Oh man, I
and
love Josh Cribbs too.
Leon Washington.
Leon Washington has 9 kick return.
8. They're tied at 8.
Wow.
All time. Yeah.
I can see Josh Cribbs, Leon Washington, totally out left field for me.
Yeah.
We actually saw him at that Redskins Titans game. He played for Tennessee that year.
Yeah. Yeah, he's actually a good little running back, dude.
I think he returned a kick that game. I swear.
Probably did.
Oh my goodness!
He
Of course,
probably did,
of course. That's like a little bit of my karma because Washington won that game, but Leon Washington got me back 10 years later at trivia.
He hooked you.
All right, but actually, I wanted to skip to my third question without taking this shot because I just got done taking one.
You cheater.
Yeah. All right, no longer shouting out Lewisburg, West Virginia any more than.
You know who you are. You make terrible whiskey.
Yeah, wasn't the liquor we had from Indiana, was it not from someplace called Lewisburg?
I think it was Lawrenceburg.
Lawrenceburg. Okay,
Indiana.
I was gonna say now I'm getting scared. Yeah, they're conspiring.
Yeah.
But Lawrenceburg, Indiana. I liked your whiskey better than Lewisburg, West Virginia. But I like West Virginia better because that's kind of like home.
Yeah.
So anyway, cheers. This is hopeful. This is
So we'll give it another full point, 3.6, because you're from West Virginia. That was a good one. That sounded good. I'm sure that sounded great in the microphone.
You can probably hear me gulp. Oh God. Oh Jesus.
All right, man. Ask that awesome last second question.
I think you'll be a fan of it because we haven't touched on this yet.
Yeah.
My question is an Olympic question.
I'm gonna get it wrong, but go ahead.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, I think you'll.
Michael Phelps.
It is a Michael Phelps question.
Did I get it right?
No.
Oh.
No.
Right.
Yeah, this will be good for the teaser.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
But no, the Olympic question. True or false? Michael Phelps has more than 30 medals.
I think that's
And whoa. More than 30 medals. I'm not talking about gold medals.
Oh.
I'm talking about
Altogether
overall medals.
silver,
and
bronze.
bronze too, because he has some of those.
Yeah.
And I'll give you a hint. I'll even do you another solid.
It's a 50-50. Yeah, sure. Give me a hint.
He has 23 gold medals.
Oh my gosh. I bet it's so close. I bet it's either.
That's why I picked this.
I bet it's either 29 or 31.
Which is it?
I bet it's either 29 or 31. Not to hear myself say over and over again, I'm going to go with false. He has less than 30 overall medals.
Damn it! You just won trivia. He has 28 total
28.
medals. 23 gold medals, 28 total medals. He has less than 30.
Yeah.
So yeah, you survived trivia for the second time in a row.
Yeah, that's how we do it, man.
Yeah, that's how you do it apparently. But I'm gonna get you next round. Yeah.
Next birth.
Yeah, our June episode.
Yeah,
of
booth review.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Booth review.
Yeah. So I do want to give before we close out here, Jared, thank you for coming on again.
No, Brian, you don't have to thank me for nothing, man. I'm happy to be here for our monthly segment of the Booth Review, but in general, I'm a fan of On The Sidelines. Great content, great guests. It's been fun, and looking forward to continuing this path with you. And I appreciate you having me on.
I appreciate that, man. I look forward to it too. I really do appreciate that. Thank you for all the support out there as well. Quick shout out to our sponsors one last time, Sleepy Pelican Travel Group and the Bar on 3rd. We do appreciate that, and we will catch you next time on The Sidelines.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, thanks.